Unity family. This is Teresa Mescla, and I'm just going to talk to you about the New Earth. I was telling Paul that I believe in two classes we can talk about the whole book, but I don't think so because today I just get like three chapters, a little bit of more than three chapters, and it was a lot. So, but I'm gonna tell you what this book told me, and I just let it know that it's amazing if you want to read it. Um, I miss you so much. I want to be back in church, but I understand that what is best for everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna start with chapter one, and I have a little bit of PowerPoint. Okay, sorry. I'm new. I was thinking that because I'm doing this, not live, it will be so easy, but it's not. I still my ego, because we're going to talk a little bit about the ego. It's telling me that I have to be perfect all the time. But well, I like this Eckhart Tolle. It's a new species is arising on the planet. It is arising now, and you are it. And actually, the chapter one is talking a little bit about that. I'm going to read a little bit of the most things that the things that I think that are important to me. And it's a humanity is ready for a transformation of consciousness. We are ready to rise above identification with form that keeps the ego in place and condemns us to imprisonment within personality. Um, the Bible say that God created man in his image and likeness. But we also create God in our own image and likeness. What I think about God is what I think about me. And you know what? I was thinking about that because, for so many years, I was thinking that God was bad, that he punished me, and, you know, really bad things about God that I was thinking. But at that time, um, I was punished myself a lot, and I was treating people bad, and I was doing and take all these bad choices, and I was thinking, yeah, that's true. That's what I was thinking about God. That was me, So it was kind of interesting when I quite totally say that this is the time for wake up, and that this, like the book said, a new earth. And I was thinking that, why I'm here in Missouri. Like most of you know, I'm not from here. I born in Chihuahua, Mexico. Then after that, I moved to LA, and I lived there for 15 years. And at that time, I start, all these 12-step groups that I was went into, and then that take me to because in that group they ask you to believe in God or in something higher than you. And at that time, I was looking for something, and I found Unity. Um, I found Unity when I moved here to Missouri. For some reason, I'm here in Missouri. But here in Missouri is when I found Unity. I found the School of Metaphysics, and I just start, like in my point of view, I'm awakening right now. So they're not coincidence, like why I'm here, why I doing this, like what, because I love Unity, I love their teachings, and I love to share with you, and others what I learn. So I think that he's right now is our time, and we just have to keep going, and for me that's really amazing. Another thing that it says in the book, that the spiritual teachers like Lao Tzu, Buddha, and Jesus have been here for a long time, but not everyone knows how to interpret their teachings. Today, we are more open to spirituality, The focus need on the focus needs to on myself, how to control my thoughts and how to go deeper into myself. And yeah, I think we're more open than before, or more people are like, going to this path that we are on it right now. One of the biggest challenges is to separate the ego from the I am, to understand that I'm not what I have, I'm not what I'm doing. When I realize this, I can start to live by action, not reaction. And that makes a lot of sense to me because I don't know you, but before, uh, whatever happens, I just react. I never think about it. I just, whatever, if I was scared, I react and, or, do whatever I think that it was right. And it was whatever, if I hurt other people, it was nothing bad because, I was trying to save myself and like, living by reaction. So I understand why people do what they do. I stop judging. I realize why people live the same story over and over again. It's because they're not awake. They accept it as normal and don't realize they have a choice. So when I was reading this and I was thinking, yeah, that's true. And for me, that's compassion. When I start looking at others like not by reaction, like if somebody says something to me and I start thinking that as because isn't there, whatever they are doing or saying is not me. So then I believe that that's when you don't react, or I not react, or try not to react because something that happens. And it talks about, Eckhart Tolle talks about, that we used to believe that when we saw people like in the street talking aloud, some of us, we have the experience, and that the people was blah 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 blah, this and that, and how we judge the people, and then we say, oh, he's crazy, poor guy, or whatever, but what about us, or what about me, when I'm thinking, and the person is not in front of me, and I'm saying, "Whoa, but I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and blah 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 and this and that," and I get mad, So that's kind of craziness too, and so, like not judge, and try not to go along with my thoughts when the person is not there, because I'm gonna do something good with my thoughts? No. And actually, probably by the time that I see this person that I want to talk to, it's gonna be totally different because it's not the present moment. I'm just, sometimes I cannot sleep thinking what I'm gonna say or do. And is the person there? No, it's not. So that's actually controlling, like not judge other people and try to, go into my thoughts and see, what I'm really thinking and what I'm really doing with that. Um, Something that he says too is that intelligence is not wisdom. And that makes a lot of sense to me. For so many years, I was thinking that like mostly the priests, because they start a lot, and in my mind, I was thinking they know everything, and no, they're not. And not only them, I don't want to judge just them, but sometimes you meet a lot of people that that they're super smart, but they don't have a lot of wisdom sometimes, and it's okay, and so I realized that it gives me like a freedom, and to have my own opinion, and to be wise and not believe everything that these people, know or saying. And I believe I tell you this before, but when I was dealing with my child disability when she was really young, um, one of these intelligent people told me something really wrong about her disability, and I was devastated. And I believe in them. So, but then after, healing all these things, I realized that he was so smart, but he doesn't have a lot of wisdom. So that's like what I said before. It's kind of like when you start having compassion for you, your mistakes, and other people. Uh, Eckhart Tolle also say that how I treat the planet, the flora, the fauna, is a manifestation of the state of my consciousness. And when we have attachment to material things or what other people think about us, that is ego. And I don't know you, but when I start walking in this path of unity, then is when I start loving, like the plants and earth, the animals. Uh, like I never thought that I'm gonna have, like a dog and feel that it's part of my family and see that how he loved me unconditional. I think that it's have been a really beautiful experience. I had Melody for 12 years, but actually it was Tanya's puppy. She left it here when she moved because she can't have it in her apartment. But this is the first time that me adopt a puppy. And it's my first puppy in my whole life, and I don't know. It's really beautiful. I rescued him from Bolivar, and since that date, because we have in quarantine, we have been together, and he's so adorable. I mean, like, he teach me a lot. If I go to the restroom, he go to the restroom. If I go to the kitchen, he go to the kitchen. If I go outside, he go outside. But he's always with me, and he's teaching me what he wants. Like if he wants to go for a walk, he just go and run and get and show me the leash. He's super smart. So I don't know. It had been a beautiful, beautiful experience that I think if I was not in this path, I don't think I have it. I have the love and the understanding for him. Um, this is what it say. Okay. Well, we're talking about the ego, right? And what it say, Eckhart Tolle say, it's talking about that when we live really attached to the ego. And he say that if I say that I own a building, and I can tell you guys, oh look, this beautiful and huge building is mine. And some of these people is gonna say, wow, look, really nice. Teresa had this building. She's rich. But other people can say, well, I think that is Teresa's crazy. I don't think that building is hers. And these two opinions is just an illusion because that's what ego is. Like if I get attached of the positive things, or I get attached of the negative things. So and that's what that's what I tried to learn. But he was telling us that if we get outside of the attachment, that whatever people say is not important, it is what it is. Because if I have or I don't have the building, it doesn't matter what people say about that. It doesn't matter. So nothing is permanent, and it's just something that I say, but it's not who I am. So it was really interesting, this talk about the building. And Eckhart Tolle says that no one can let go of their attachments until they realize they have it. And I think that's like everything, like I was thinking about when we want to give some clothes, if you don't know that you have it in the closet, how are you going to give it away? Or, so everything that we want to get rid of it, we have to know that we have it. We have to like realize that that's something in me that I want to take out. So we can enjoy everything we have, like a job, partner, or money, but it is, if it's gone, it's okay. We just have to move to something else and leave and not live in drama. I don't have, and like talking to everybody that I don't have this or I don't have that. I know it's really difficult for me because I grew up kind of like in a drama family. Like everything was drama, so it had been really hard for me not to um I noticed myself sometimes that like, how are you? Fine. And you good, but this and that. Like, when I believe it was in a Zoom meeting, and Sue asked me, how are you, Teresa? And well, I'm good, I'm working, blah blah blah. But I miss Tanya. So, like I noticed that all the time I add something, like that something in drama. And the good thing is that I can see her like every weekend. Not well before we see each other like every day, but it's it's something different, and we're learning from that. But like not adding drama to my life, it had been like a kind of challenge. But I'm trying to do it every day. And it's talking about when ego dominates my life is when I want more and more, because nothing is good enough for ego. And it's talking about that when I identify myself with my body, like with the media say that we have to be super skinny or beautiful hair and beautiful skin and things like that, is when we buy all these products and think, but it's everything is for my ego. When we do this because we want to be healthy, because I love myself, that's another story, because I'm not attached at, like I don't feel bad if I don't lose you know so many pounds, or my hair is not super, right now it's super dry, but if I don't look so good or things like that, then I start feeling bad. But when it's just for health, I'm gonna accept myself. I'm gonna take care of it, but I'm gonna set myself the way it is. So it's really interesting, like one point and the other. Um, mm, and he talks, when we are in this place that we don't separate ourselves from what others think or what other wants or what other have, then it's a really strong attachment to the ego. And he talks about two, and I believe it's the next chapter, that talking about the peace that surpasses of understanding. Um, you know what? I think it was like last class in the School of Metaphysics, and my teacher Brian was teaching us about. He said that all the cause for suffering is the wanting, and I was like, and I think that's from Buddha, but it was really a hot moment for me, because I was thinking that is true, because um, I want these people to change, or I want this car, or I want this job, or I want my boss to tell me, or I feel appreciated in my job, or I want my partner to do this. So it's true. I wanting, wanting, wanting. And when this not happen, then I start suffering, you know. So I was like, wow, um, that's really true. And now, you know, when I, you know, I try to, right now, I think that, you know, I have to adjust my life. But let me tell you a little bit about my day. Like now that I'm working at home, I try to wake up at 6. And then after that, I try to do some exercise. Well, I take the dog for a walk, little walk outside. But then I try to do my exercise, and then I do another exercise. That they come from with a meditation, and then I do my meditation. And then after that, I take a shower, and then I take my breakfast, and then I come to the living room and start, you know, working in the computer, and then I have an hour lunch. Then I work again, and then I'm finished at 5, and then I do some other things during the day. But it's really different, you know, and I it's kind of like new for me, but I'm really comfortable with that. And probably, you know, when we come back, my boss, I think, wants us to come back on Monday, but I was not sure, not 100% sure. But I'm kind of like right now, kind of suffering because I don't want to. First, I was suffering because I didn't want to stay in my home the whole day, you know, and now I'm really enjoying it. And now I'm suffering because I don't want to go back. So, and I was thinking, wanting. I don't want this, I don't want that. So I was talking to myself, and I said, you know what? It's okay. If he say that we're going to come back on Monday, I'll come back on Monday, and I'm just going to not start, you know, suffering. Like before, I do this stuff all the time. It was because I want to sounds good. I want everybody to understand. I want to be, you know, like, no. And you know what? I feel right now, I'm not sure because I'm reading the book, but excuse me, but I feel like I just gonna go with the flow. And God is the one that is doing this job, not me. It's just, you know, I'm an instrument. So I don't know. This book is so amazing. I recommend you to read it. Um, okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about the ego, and then let's say that when we have big losses, like losing money, losing a loved one, losing a relationship, we can blame God and be the victim, or we can surrender and know that everything has a divine order. I know that's really hard, you know, and I know that we have to go for grief and all the stuff, but that's part of the ego. And I was thinking, you know, when I lose my grandma, she passed away. Now I love my grandma with all my heart, but most of the things that I miss, it was things that I was doing with her, and or she was doing with me, you know, or she was doing it for me. Like she cooks really good, but I mean, it's not really nice to say this, or I'm not sure how to say it, but most of the time when we lose something or someone is because all of the things that is going to give it to me, or the things that I was enjoying for this person, or the thing, or the car, or whatever. But I mean, I know it's really hard, and I'm not sure if I can explain this to you because I don't want to sounds like really bad, but you know, when things are gone, and then in the future we understand why, and then you can look back and say, okay, yeah, this is gone, whatever it is, but this happened, and I'm a better person, or I learned this, or you know, I have a better job, or whatever. But it's not easy. I mean, for me, I'm not sure for you guys, but like surrender, it has been like a really challenge for me, but I try to practice it every day. When I surrender, I open myself to understand with the universe, to try to understanding the universe and what do they want for me. When I surrender, I enter into another dimension of consciousness. When I surrender, I am allied myself with the supreme intelligence that create me. And I know that sounds like really awesome, and I know for me it had been difficult. But what I was telling you before is, if I really believe that everything has a divine order, so I'm gonna surrender, or try to surrender, or learn to surrender every time that something happens to me that I don't like it, or that it's a wanting, And when I start getting experience and trust in God and the peacefulness of God, I will experience peace. When I complain, I give life to ego. My ego wants to be better than others because it thinks that I am not good as them. This is low self-esteem. Resentment is the emotion that goes with blame. And because it takes about the ego needs enemies to survive, and the enemies, the truth that the most of the time there are in my head. It say that we make these enemies because we judge people, and then sometimes we talk about bad about people, and then of course they talk bad about us and things like that. But I mean, surrender, I think, is the great thing, to not have enemies. And because if other people thinks or say bad things about us, or whatever are in their mind, is not personal, is whatever they have in them. So it's not my enemy, it's their enemy. Like if I talk bad things about other people, so it's in me, it's not in them. In the other chapter, it's I write a little bit more about that, and it's really amazing. And I'd say that ego confuse options and facts. And then it gives an example for, I'll read it to you. It say, I can be in a restaurant and tell the waiter that the soup is cold, but without blaming anyone. I am just giving him the facts. The soup is cold. This is not the ego. But if I try to put the waiter down, or the place, the restaurant, and I blame everybody, and I make myself more important than anybody else, that is ego. And I don't know you, but I haven't seen these people in the restaurants that and sometimes they throw the plate, and the table and things like that, and you're like, I don't know if you, but I haven't waitress, and it's really, really, like astonished and scared, because you're trying to do your better service, but some people it's like that. And if you take it personal, it's really bad. But again, the understanding, the surrender, okay, these people has a lot of pain or whatever, but it doesn't have nothing with me. It's his things. And it's a only through awareness and not thinking you can differentiate between facts and options. If I notice a person who is speaking bad to people, and I understand that this is because he is not awake, I can make a choice to not participate. I can act from spirit, not from ego. Ego criticizes, judge, and condemns. Spirits understand, comprehends, and sympathize, and loves. Okay. And it's, in Eckhart Tolle say that we have to be honest, really honest, to accept and recognize my thoughts and emotions about others. I have to feel it, and not try to hide it. If I hide the emotion and don't forgive the person, then it will always come back. And it's not easy because, well, I don't know, but most of you know that I grew up with grandma, and mom came to United States to work, and I was with grandma in Mexico. And for so many years I hide that I was mad for that. And if you was asking me, I was like, no, I was okay. I was with grandma. I have a house. I have food. I have shelter. And I always say that I was okay. But when I start working in the 12-step groups, and I went to the 4 and 5 steps, I write it down, and it come out that I was really mad and I was really sad. But before that, I cannot work in that because I didn't realize that I have it, or I didn't accept it. And so I start, like working on that and forgive my mom, because I think that if she will stay in Mexico, probably we're not gonna have nothing, and I think grandma, the only thing that she had was her pension, um, or retirement. That's what they call here in the United States. I think in Mexico they call pension. But and what about, it would be me, my mom, and my grandma. So of course she moved here, and then she married. She had 3 more kids. But I have like this pain for so many years, and then I didn't recognize, and I was kind of mad of her, and but that time I didn't recognize, because how in the world I'm gonna be bad with my mother? Oh, no, 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 it was, and I was really mad, and I have to accept it and work it, and now I feel a lot of compassion. I understand why she came to the United States, and I understand that thanks of her I can, I have food, and I have a lot of things in Mexico that probably she won't come to United States, I didn't have. So instead of right now, I love my mom, and I think I forgive her, and we have a really, 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 really nice relationship. So, but like I tell you, if I was not honest, and because I remember that I once I talked to somebody and I say, well, you're mad with your mom, and it was the same story. No, I'm not bad with my mom, and but instead of judge them, I understand, because it's really hard to really, really get to your through and say, yeah, I'm really mad, and it's part of the ego, because how in the world I'm gonna be mad with my mom? So no, it's kind of like hard, but it's really, you feel so good when you say, yes, I was, but I can change. I can change this feeling, because it's just a feeling. So, and then I say, okay, when I figure it out of that I am just defending my point of view, then forgiveness come out easily. And it talks about, when we are arguing with somebody because I want to have my point of view have to be the right one. I have to be right. And so it's kind of like, my ego too. So this book is really amazing about that. I really identify with that, and a lot of things. He talks about when Jesus said that you have to forgive your enemies. He means that you have to let go of the idea that you are the only person who is right. You have to let go of the idea that you're the only person who is good. So I was kind of, when I blame and tell myself that I am better than someone else, this is ego that wants to think that is better than the other person or situation that I'm judging. And there is nothing that estranges the ego more than being right. And I don't know you, but I lose some friends because I want to be right. And my point of view have to be the only one that is correct. And now I understand that, but before it was I don't care. And I remember that one of my friends tell me once, it's because if I'm not with you, that means that I'm against you. And that was my point. That was kind of my reality. If I think that this is have to be this way, and my best friend think that it was not, I don't want to talk to her anymore. I didn't want to talk to her anymore. So it was, like lately, I don't know if I told you this, but last year we met with some friend from my childhood in Oklahoma, and it was really nice and really amazing. But one of the things that they talked to me about it was that they were so scared to tell me that they don't think how I was thinking because they were scared to lose my friendship. So I was like, thanks God I changed. But yeah, that was kind of like really really bad. If you don't think like me, I don't like you, but now I like you. And I really think that I learned how to respect other people, other points of view, and it's thanks to unity. So I know I love unity. Okay, so I think I was thinking that I'm not gonna have enough material for 30 minutes, but I think that it right now is more than 30 minutes. But I just want to tell you the other part that I think is really really nice. The true is inseparable from who you are. And it say in big letters, yes, you are true. The very beginning that you are is true. And when you are in touch with the dimension within yourself and being in touch with it is your natural state, and that is love. And all of these, I think it's only 3 chapters, this material, believe me, because I was trying to go to the other two, but it was like 6 pages already. So I was like, no, I don't think that I'm going to have time for that. But all these things that Eckhart Tolle teach in this book is about, kind of like wake up and, like try to see myself, separate from ego. And I just want to read this to you because that's really, really good in my point of view. But it say the particular egoic pattern that you react to most strongly in others and misperceive as their identity tend to be the same patterns that are also in you, but that you are unable or willing to detect them within yourself. In that sense, you have much to learn from your enemies. What is in them that you find most upsetting, most disturbing? Their selfishness, their greed, their need of power and control, their insensitive dishonesty, propensity to violence, or whatever it might be. Anything that you resent and strongly react to in another is also in you, but it's no more than a form of ego, and as such is completely impersonal. It has nothing to do with who that person is, nor has it anything to do of who you are. It's only if you mistake it for who you are can observing it within you be treating to your sense of self. And you know what? It was like really a tonnage because I understand that what I see in others that I don't like is something that I have and something that I have to work on that. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of, I went to a trip, I think 2 weeks ago. No, a week ago. I don't remember. But, well, the point is that when I see one of my friends and I notice her mother, and I was thinking, oh my God, she didn't change. She's the same. She's super controlling. and choose this and choose that and blah blah blah. And I was, thinking, and then I believe that night I read this and I was laughing, and I was like, yeah, that is true. I want to control everything, if you know my daughter is something that she always tell me, you want to control me and blah blah blah. But it was like, yeah, that is true. So that night I was thinking, yeah, so if you see all these things in this lady, it's because you have it. And guess what? I need to work on that. So it was kind of nice. And that last part that I want to tell you, uh, okay, let me tell you about. Well, I'm going to continue to tell a little bit about that trip because I have a little bit more things, but I don't think I'm going to have time. But let me tell you also, when I went to this trip, it was really interesting. My mom had to do some things and I was waiting for her outside, and then I was not happy because I didn't want to stay there. I want to, but at the end it was great. But because we had been in quarantine, so I didn't want to go and travel. But we went, and then my mom was doing whatever she needs to do, and I was waiting outside, and then I saw this guy or gentleman or whatever, and he was like walking once and then walking again, and then he came close, and then he asked me, "Are you from Chihuahua?" And then I said, "Yes," and then he told me, "Is your name Teresa?" And then I was like, yes, but I was kind of scared. And then he said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. Did you remember me?" And I was like, "No." And then he said, "Remember, whatever name is." And then he say, and actually he was a childhood friend. He was, I think I haven't seen him from 35 years, but it was kind of like really nice experience. And let me tell you why, because I cannot believe he recognized me. And the other thing, the things that he told me, and I write it down because it was kind of funny. And he said that time doesn't change me, that I looked really young, that I was so beautiful, that I had my eyes were unforgettable, and I have this good personality. And he talked to me about all these beautiful memories that I have with me. So can you imagine my ego? I was like, like floating, and I was so excited and so happy. And I was like, wow, and my ego was like high and really big. And so, okay, so he left, and we say that we exchange information and blah blah blah. So it was but it was really nice, to see him. I really, because we started talking about childhood, and well, that's another story. But that day I was, kind of floating because I can't believe it and blah blah blah. And then that night I was reading again, and I read about this chapter, and about the ego. And I was thinking, what an attachment I have to people, what people say. What about if this guy was, I don't know, getting close, and I was the one that recognized him, and he told me, "I don't recognize you. Wow, you looks really old. You're fat. Oh, you have a horrible eyes. And I have really bad memories about you." Then what? I will be in depression. I will be, like really sad and my drama. No, so that day I understand who that it was really good that what he said about me. It was really nice. But if he didn't say anything, oh, it will be nice too. You know what I mean? So that day I was so excited because I detached myself from whatever it was in that moment, and I can see, it was good, great, but that's it. That this is not me. I mean, it's not me what he was telling me that I was. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to tell you, but I was really excited that I can come and get my ego down, 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 to the normal thing. So that was, and I just want to end with the last part that I write down, and let's say, um, the moment that you become aware of your ego in yourself, that emerging awareness is who you are beyond the ego. That is your deeper I am. And I just want to tell you that thank you for this time. And thank you for listening to me. And I'm so grateful for you guys. And I hope this pass like easily and we can see each other again. Thank you so much. Love you.